Hi, this is Sandi Maki, and it's time for a little bit of heavy breathing just before midnight. Today I'm reflecting bios and how when we go to different events or if we attend conferences or seminars, or if we even just want to introduce ourselves to people via our website, we put together a handy dandy little thing called a bio. And this bio is supposed to offer someone a glimpse into our life based on the information that we put together. There's a lot of different ways to compile bios, and this past week I was looking at some three-dimensional bio makers online that would take data from a LinkedIn profile, for example, and create something within a website that's supposed to be, maybe a little bit more exciting bio with work history and things like that. I don't know that I've ever seen a bio for someone that I've read or looked at online and I said, wow, they hit that spot on. That is the best bio that I've ever seen. I've seen a lot that I've liked, and I know that I've seen a lot that I haven't liked. And what's the difference between the ones that are good and well put together and then the ones where I think, oh, wow, I wish they had just done a little bit more work? I don't know what the secret is. I think that when you can tell that somebody is authentic in what they're putting out as their bio, you've got a greater chance of that connectability happening and somebody liking it on the receiving end. The ones that looked like they're put together so forced and stilted, I guess those are the ones that are even a little bit more challenging. But what makes a good bio, and how do we possibly think that we can take our 360-degree life and we can put it together in a short little snapshot, and then in most cases reduce it down to like 1/2 of one sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper and have it be representative of everything that we'd like to get across? I don't know, it's something interesting. I don't know if you've put together your bio lately, but I suppose this is on my mind a bit. I was invited to apply for a social media management position for a local university by someone who works at the university. And I ultimately decided not to apply for this position because I didn't want to have to turn it down if I had gotten it, even though part of my ego probably would have said, well, see if you can get it. But if I didn't really want it anyway, then why would I go through that? So I didn't. And I was talking about it in a mastermind group that we were having, and one of the members of the mastermind group was talking about somebody who did apply for the position and how they had built an entire website around the person that they were going to be interviewing with, which the website name was basically, read this please, and insert the name here. And then the entire website was like a three-dimensional bio that was interactive and showcased this person's social media skill. If I had applied for the job, I would have tried to put something together along the lines of what this certain individual did. I'm sure I would have done it in a different way. I'm not entirely sure how she put all the pieces together, but it was a nice way of putting together a more 360-degree representation of who this person was and how they interact in social media. I've got to admit that every time I try to put my bio together, which is several times a year, I always try to make sure that it's the most up-to-date version of anything that I can share. And then I always try to make sure that it's fun. And no matter what the venue is going to be where this is shared, if it's online or if it's something for a talk that I'm giving or a meeting that I'm attending, I always try to make sure that it's a little bit quirky. And inevitably, I end up sending my bio over for inclusion in whatever it needs to be included in. And then if it's a circumstance where there's other people's bios that are being shared simultaneously, I always anxiously await the moment where I can open up the bios and I can see, well, how did everybody else do? And is mine cool enough to be included with everyone else's? And then sometimes I wish that I had done mine differently, and sometimes I'm thrilled with the way that it is. Sometimes I wish that some of the other people that I'm going to meet had done theirs differently, because I think if they did, then they would look a whole lot more fun on paper. And then I wonder if people are thinking that about me. I think that with social media, I won't say that we're getting a little bit spoiled, but spoiled comes to mind. I think we're getting changed. Changed would be a good word. Changed in expectation. Because when I put together my bio these days, I can include on it links to my Facebook profile and my LinkedIn profile and Twitter. So instead of just seeing this one-dimensional bio that I've written with a photo that I've included about whatever the highlights are that I can fit into 250 words or less, I can send people to get a glimpse of me in different settings, different, more authentic settings, where you can see the way that I communicate, the way that I look and interact through photos, and the types of information that I enjoy sharing. I think the way of the old school bio, putting it on paper, is rapidly going by the wayside. And what we're seeing now is kind of a melded version of the paper version of ourselves with the online version of ourselves. Because yeah, we do still need to put these somewhere that we can summarize them and then email them out to a great number of people all at one time. So I think we're seeing the melding of these two things, and I think very, very soon, just like we're seeing with resumes, we're going to see the end of the paper version of the bio. And instead, it will be a landing page about us where we get to share something quick and witty in about 100 words, maybe a photo, and then links to where people can go to get the rest of the story. I think back in the day, bios served the purpose of giving you a name to put with a face and a few anchoring features or attributes about that person, so that either you could review it before you met them and you would have a jumping off ground, or you would have something to hang on to after you did meet them, so that it would serve as kind of an entry in your Rolodex until the next time that you saw them. With our connectedness now that we have online and our ability to get so much more information on people just by Googling them, I think the bios just serve as a roster of who's going to be at this meeting, or who are you going to meet, or who are the keynote speakers, or just any of that type of information that you need to bookmark. And I think that the real resource in the connecting of the bios is coming from all of the ancillary information that you can pull together. So think about that when it comes time for you to write your next bio, or if you haven't rewritten yours in the last 30 days, I would say take a visit to your website and double check, make sure that you have the most pertinent information possible, and be a little daring and do a little something different. Because if you use black and white type on white paper, or if you use black type on white paper, then you've got the same black and white bio that everybody else does. And in today's day and age, in the world that we live in, don't you think that yours deserves a spot of color? I certainly do. So as I'm sitting here reviewing my bio that has been submitted and reading the bios of other lovely people that I will meet this coming week, I'm constantly looking for new and interesting ways to tweak and revamp my bio, while knowing that for the next 30 days anyway, I do have black ink on white paper, and that's what people are going to be using when they meet me. And then if they've caught a glimpse of something within my bio that's interesting or intriguing enough, maybe they'll venture over and maybe they'll visit me on my website, or maybe they'll stop by and say hello on Facebook. And then they'll get to see the rest of the 360 degrees that they didn't see when it was just black ink on white paper. Until next time, this was a little bit of heavy breathing just before midnight.